Everyone, I hope you're well, safe and healthy. Welcome to my channel. In this short video, I'm going to talk about how cyclones are named. Like for example, recently we had Tauktae and Yaas in the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal respectively. So let's see how these interesting names are given to these tropical storms. So the World Meteorological Organization, or WMO, maintains a rotating list of names which are appropriate for each tropical cyclone basin. So we have different tropical cyclone basins in the world, like in North Indian Ocean, one in South Indian Ocean, then in Atlantic Ocean, Northeast and Northwest Pacific Ocean region, etc. So these lists are separate for each tropical cyclone basin and proposed by the WMO members of specific region in their annual or biannual meetings. So each region has an international committee, these are the committees, comprising of member countries in and around that region. And these member countries submit their name recommendations to the respective committees or the tropical cyclone regional bodies, and their panel ultimately finalizes the list which are to be given to the tropical cyclone region in that particular area. All right. So we have 4 tropical cyclone warning centers, like we have one in Jakarta, Australia, etc., and then 5 majorly tropical cyclone regional bodies, or we also call them as RSMCs, regional specialized meteorological centers. Okay, so we have 5 committees like SCAP, WMO Typhoon Committee. SCAP stands for United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia Pacific. Okay, WMO is World Meteorological Organization. Typhoon Committee, WMO SCAP Panel on Tropical Cyclones, RA1 Tropical Cyclone Committee, RA4 Hurricane Committee, and RA5 Tropical Cyclone Committee. So let's see in the world map, in which region this committee looks into. That will give you a clarity. So as a world map, so if you talk about, the first one, which is the SCAP WMO Typhoon Committee, it looks into majorly, Northwestern Pacific region and South China Sea. So, these countries like Philippines and all are member of this particular international committee. All right. And then we have WMO SCAP panel on tropical cyclone. This majorly looks into our region, which is, Indian region. So Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, basically North Indian Ocean region. Okay. And the countries here all are part of this particular committee. And then we have RA1 Tropical Cyclone Committee. This looks into Southern Indian Ocean region, this particular region. So countries like, Seychelles here, this is an island nation, is one of the major member of this particular cyclone committee. The next one we had was RA5 Tropical Cyclone Committee. This majorly looks into South Pacific Ocean region, Australia, in and around Australia. And finally we have the major committee which is known as RA4 Hurricane Committee, which is called as which looks into basically North Atlantic Ocean and these specific regions. Okay, so before we move further, let's understand quickly. I just want to talk about what is the difference between cyclone, typhoon and hurricane. So basically, these are one and the same thing. It only differs in the region where these appear. So these occur, sorry. So hurricane basically, if something occurs in this particular region, any storm occurring in these regions is called as hurricane. Typhoon majorly talks about typhoon is majorly given a name to storms and cyclones, or basically storms originating in these regions. Okay, North Pacific and South China Sea and all. And cyclone caters to our region. So anything in Northern Indian Ocean region is given the name cyclone. All right. Moving further, let's look at a little history. So these naming of storms began years ago. Earlier it was named arbitrarily, like a storm ripping off mast of a boat named Anje was named Anje Hurricane. In 1900s, early 1900, the practice of using feminine names started off. So majorly they started off in Atlantic region. So feminine names were given to hurricanes originating in the Atlantic region. Slowly with years, international committees were formed, like and by the end of 1900s, in 2000s, early 2000s, international committees were formed, and then these committees were responsible for naming cyclone or typhoon or hurricane in the respective region. Okay, so different committees name differently, and they have different principles. Like in Atlantic region, they maintain 6 lists. So and those 6 lists rotate every 6 years, and they contain both male and female names, or for different hurricanes, like Katrina and all those things. So why these namings and all are required? It's obviously because the most common reason is it's easier for people to remember than using technical numbers and terms. It also helps scientific community as well as disaster management team. It is easier for media to report on these names and create awareness and alarms, alerts for common masses or common people, and it helps in disseminating warnings and error messages. So basically, this is the common reason why uh, the meteorological departments go for naming of cyclones rather than using technical terms. All right. Coming to our region, which is Northern Indian Ocean region. So in 2000, at its 27th session at Muscat, Oman, WMO or SCAP, UN Economic and Social Commission for Asia Pacific, held its 27th session. They agreed to assign names to cyclones in Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. So initially it comprised of 8 members. So those 8 members were in alphabetical order: Bangladesh, India, Maldives, okay, Myanmar, Oman, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. So these were the 8 nations that was initially the member of this particular committee, and later in 2018 5 more countries joined, which were Iran, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, which is United Arab Emirates, and Yemen. So these are the 5 countries which joined in 2018. So currently we have 13 member countries. Okay, so each country sends in suggestion to the tropical panel of this particular committee. All right, so each country sends in 13 suggestions. So we have 13 countries and 13 suggestions, so total 169 names. And these so there are 13 lists, each maintaining 13 lists given from each country. So there are total 169 names of cyclones which are used in rotation. All right, so there are some guidelines for this committee. So unlike Atlantic region, we do not this committee has guidelines like the names given should be neutral to gender, political figures, religion, culture. It should be short, easy to pronounce, and not more than 8 letters, and etc, etc. Okay, so tropical panel finalizes the lists, and ultimately the IMD or Indian Meteorological Center, which is also the RSMC of this particular region, is mandated to issue advisories to other countries in the region whenever such storms or cyclones develop in and around. All right, so let's look at the list and some common names, some names that were given by these countries. So these are the names that were given the countries, like Nisarga, Gati. You would have heard of these names in the past. So currently Tauktae, that originated in the Arabian Sea, was given by Myanmar, and Yaas, originating in the Bay of Bengal, was given by Oman. Next, whatever cyclone comes in and around the region will be named as Gulab, Shaheen, and so on, Jawad and all, Mocha. And finally, once this particular name is reached, it moves on to the next column: Tej, Hamun, and so on. All right, so the names suggested by India are Gati, Tej, Murasu, Aag, Vyom, Jhar, Prabhav, Neer, Prabhanjan, Ghurni, Ambud, Jaladhi, Veg, and so on. So basically IMD also consults general public. So some of these names were given by general publics, suggested by general publics, which was sent to the tropical panel to include in the list. All right, so I hope you found this helpful, and it gave you a clarity into how these cyclones are named. So if anyone has questions or suggestions, before I close, one more important thing: if a cyclone is particularly deadly or costly, and it creates a huge loss of lives, etc. so then its name is retired and replaced by another name. So like for example Katrina, it was very deadly in the North Atlantic region, so its name was dropped and replaced by another name. All right, so if anyone has suggestions or questions on this, please feel free to ask in comments and I'll try my best to answer those. If you really liked and enjoyed this video and would like to support, please like this video and give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who you think would find this useful, and please subscribe to my channel. So see you in the next video. Until then, please take care. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching.